community. This includes money for major new scientific challenges, from the search for advanced materials to groundbreaking work on aging to the exploration of the universe. The Rosetta mission to the comet captured the nation's imagination. I can tell the House that yesterday Britain was awarded the lead role in the next international effort to explore the planet of Mars. Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House... Well, Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House have often gazed at the barren and desolate wastelands of the red planet. And we've long given up hope of finding intelligent life there. But signs of any life at all would be a major advance. Credit. I know, Mr. Speaker, the whole House has been saddened to hear that Wallace and Gromit may no longer be produced because the man behind Wallace's voice has retired. But after next May, I'm sure the whole House will unite behind a suitable and by then available candidate. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we also want to help British business do more research. Well, Mr. Speaker, with that performance, we see why he is totally unfit in 6 months' time to be put in charge of the nation's finances. And we got an object lesson in how not to plan your autumn statement reply before you've actually heard the autumn statement. This is what he expected to hear, and we know it because he went around the TV studios these last few weeks predicting it. He said the deficit would go up this year. He said it last month, he said it last week, he said it on Sunday. I've got his quote here. The Chancellor is going to have to make an autumn statement where he's going to have to say the economy is weakening and the deficit is getting larger. I've just announced independent forecasts that show the economy is stronger and the deficit is falling and the debt is lower in every future year, and he got it completely wrong. And it is hardly surprising that his party has such low economic credibility when the Shadow Chancellor repeatedly makes predictions about the British economy that turn out to be completely wrong. No more boom and bust, he said. Wrong. A double-dip recession he predicted. Completely wrong. He spent the last 3 months betting the entire credibility of the Labour Party's response to the autumn statement on the prediction of a massive deterioration in the public finances and the deficit going up, and he's got it completely wrong as well. And people say, Mr. Speaker, there's a split in the leadership of the Labour Party. They are quite right. It's between people who get the deficit figures completely wrong and people who forget about the deficit altogether. Yeah. So they've got no economic credibility, and they've got policies which show they're simply not up to the job. He mentioned his homes tax. We still don't know, by the way, what the Labour Party's view is on the stamp duty reforms. I guess we will find out in the next few days, just as we haven't got a clue what their views are on the postgraduate changes we've announced, the infrastructure investments we've announced, or anything like that. He talked about his homes tax. This is what the Labour Party thinks about his homes tax. The chair of the Public Accounts Committee says, I don't think it's the most sensible idea in the world. The former housing minister, the member for Greenwich, says the problem with it is it hits the cash poor. The member for Tottenham says it's a tax on London. And the right honourable member for Dulwich says, let's stop calling it a mansion tax. These are family homes. One of Labour's council group leaders summed it up best when they said it's completely bonkers. That's the housing policy, to put taxes on housing. He talks about our tax today and asks about our tax cut on apprentices. His jobs tax policy is to increase national insurance. He talks about pensions. His pensions policy is to tax pensions. Now he asks me about savings in the public finances. He asked me a couple of questions, and I was hoping he was going to give me some suggestions of savings we can make in the public finances. So I've had to do a bit of research myself about what his party's policy actually is. They've conducted what's called a zero-based review for the last year, and these are the two surplus assets they've identified that the government should sell. The first is the QE2 Conference Centre. The Shadow Chancellor first proposed selling that in 2001 and seems to have forgotten the fact it's the only bit of government that actually pays us an income a at the moment. And the other thing, I kid you not, it's in the Labour Party document, the other thing they found to pay down the national debt is a restaurant in St James's Park, estimated to be worth £6.7 million. That is 0.005% of the national debt, so their national economic policy is quite literally out to lunch. And that is the problem, as we've seen in this reply. He has absolutely no answers to the economic challenges that Britain faces. He has no credibility, no workable policies, because they've got no plan. We're 5 months away from a general election in which people will have to choose their government. And the most serious responsibility incumbent on anyone seeking office is to show they can provide economic stability to the nation and protect the families who live there. They haven't got a clue how to do that. They don't have a plan. Their whole response today shows they would take Britain back to square one. Britain has pulled itself out of the economic crisis that he created, and we're not going to let him take us back there.
Mr. Kenneth Clark.